Hey, good morning everybody. This is Tim Odell with Odell Complete Concrete. What we're going to be doing is a brand new concrete job. We're over here in Anaheim, Orange County, California. I'm going to take you guys to the backyard, show you what we got going on. So we're basically going to be taking everything out in this backyard. It's going to be wall to wall concrete. We're going to be doing borders and drains, and it's going to be stamped in the middle. Everything you guys see back here is coming out. Nothing is being left except for this planter bed right here. We're gonna continue this planter bed down this way, and then we will be stuccoing this. Also, we will be adding concrete down this whole side yard as well, and putting drains in right here. All we're doing right now is waiting for our dumpster bins to show up, and then we're gonna get the skidster back here and start taking everything out. Alright, how's it going everybody? This is Tim Odell with Odell Complete Concrete. As you can see, we're starting the demo phase of this backyard. Like I said, we're going to be doing wall-to-wall concrete. It's going to be borders around the whole backyard with a stamp in the middle. The stamp pattern we are going to be doing is called Belgian Slate. It's a really nice stone rock looking pattern with some veins that run through it. The nice thing about the Belgian Slate stamped look is that it's not a super heavy stamp and it's not a super light. It's more like right in between. It gives you like a nice deep realistic texture that basically is going to mimic natural stone. It's also super nice if you can add some coloring to it, and even a two-tone color. That really makes those veins and the natural stone look more actual, realistic and natural. So it's a super popular stamp. It's one of my favorites. Same thing with either Roman slate or Italian slate. Those are all really nice looks. So the other thing we're going to have to be doing in this backyard is we're going to have to prop up the patio cover, because we're going to be taking out the concrete that is holding up the patio cover. And you can also see we're spraying down a bunch of water on this dirt as well, because it's that very silty dirt where a lot of dust comes up as we're trying to remove a lot of it. And I mean, you can even see in this next clip coming up how much dirt I got all over my face just removing this stuff. Alright, me and the guys are wrapping up for the day. Let me show you what we got done. There's Luis. So we did all this one day. Pretty much got everything taken out. Got to do some fine tuning of the grade. Got the temporary post being held right there. Yeah, we got a lot done today. Pretty nice. Just gotta work on the side yard a little bit. This is all by hand though, so it's gonna take a little bit longer. Yeah, all right, we are wrapping up for the day. We're gonna clean up and head on out. All right, guys, day 2 of the project. Yesterday we got most of the demo work done. Little bit more fine tuning to do, of course. We got our drains pretty much marked out where we're going to be placing everything. We're going to have all the slope kind of run like this, right to the center point. And we're going to have drains pop-ups throughout here. Another thing we kind of have to do, since this footing was really high, it's actually higher than the concrete level. It's actually higher than the weep screed on the house. What we're going to have to do is just put a curb in right here. Pretty typical. A lot of people in SoCal don't like digging footings, so they just put a footing as is, which means a lot of times we have to put footings, or we have to put curbs to hide these footings, and people lose out on about a foot of space for their backyard because of problems like these. So if you're one of the masons doing this in OC, dig your footings. Other than that though, we're going to be extending this little planter wall right here over to this wall, and then we are going to be stuccoing this as well. But other than that, we're gonna get to work. Now, as you guys can see, we are getting our drain set for the middle of the whole backyard patio slab, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering why these homeowners want to do wall-to-wall concrete, no softscape at all, besides the little planter bed we're going to be extending and stuccoing. And the reason for that is because, one, the person I bought this home from had probably 50 chickens running around this backyard, laying landmines and feathers everywhere. And I mean, these chickens were running wild in this backyard, building nests in corners. The ground was chewed up, uneven, and it smelled awful when we got here. And before that, the owners basically had some root trauma. At their original home, they had all types of, trees, growing in their backyard, and these trees got pretty large. And the trees eventually got under the foundation and started cracking it from the inside out. The floor shifted, doors jammed, the house sounded like it was breathing basically. By the time they caught it, the whole house needed repairs. And I don't think they did try going through insurance, but they didn't. I don't even think they could get anything out of it. So basically now, with the new home and the old chicken battlefield back here, they made one thing clear. We're pouring concrete and we're pouring it wall to wall. No more grass, no more roots, and no more chicken manure. So if you're wondering why they plan on doing wall-to-wall concrete, because I know we're going to get comments like that, that is why. They had some bad experience and they just do not want to go through anything like that again. Now you can see us, we're starting to pour a little footing to extend this block wall over, and then we will be doing some stuccoing on it as well. Make these block walls match since they are different blocks. As we're doing that, we are building out the curb against the back of the block wall as well to cover up that footing. And then we also are putting some metal corners on this as well, and that's going to help sharpen up the edges for our block walls. Just so once we stucco it, it's going to look a little bit cleaner that way. Little details like that really help and make the end product look just that much better. Now, once we did have the curb forms put in place and we did have the block wall all done, we're just setting some string lines, making sure our grade is on point, making sure we have good slope towards our drains. After we did confirm we're all solid there, we did want to compact the native soil. Once we did compact the native soil, we brought in our base and started compacting our base. Now, it's really important you always compact your native soil because it prevents cracking and settling. Of course, concrete always cracks, but we like to try to do what we can to prevent that. And, compacting the native soil is a start. And then, of course, also compacting your base as well. All right, it is the end of the day 3, and almost got this all done. One more day to prep and set up for the concrete pour. It's gonna be a big pour, wall-to-wall concrete, guys. A lot of concrete going in with a curb right here the whole way down. We're doing the side yard over here. 2 drains in the side yard. All we gotta do is get the rebar set up now. Stucco this planer wall, make it all match. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look really good. Alright, see ya on the rebar day. Okay, so it is the day before the pour. We're just doing the final little touches in this backyard. Placing the rebar down, compacting, doing a little bit more grading over here. The only area we haven't graded it and compacted yet. So we're gonna go ahead and start setting all of our rebar over here. One other thing though we are gonna be doing is stuccoing this wall, getting the brown coat on, so that we can get our finish coat on later. All right, we're gonna get to it. So as you can see, we're starting to get our rebar grid set up. We normally do about 24 inches on center. We're using number 3 bar, and we're cutting with a little angle grinder. We like to try to cut multiple at a time to speed up our cuts and placing all the rebar down. Usually rebar goes pretty quick besides having to tie it all. That's why it's really nice to have those automatic rebar tires now that Makita sent us and Max Rebar Tying Gun sent us. Definitely helps our jobs move a lot faster now when tying rebar. I'm curious to know too, do any of you guys actually have one of those, and do you guys think it's worth the investment, or do you guys just tie everything by hand still? So after we did have all of our rebar all tied up, the last thing we were going to be doing before the pour day was stuccoing the block wall. And this went by fairly quick. I think we only used like 1 spec mix bag. and then we were just chipping some of the footing on the existing block wall just so it's smoother and we can get our concrete poured right against that wall with no protruding footing. Alright, now here we are, the day of the pour. I believe I did order about a 20 plus on this one, so it's 2 trucks plus we were going to measure whatever we needed for that final truck, and I believe it did end up being about 25 to 27 yards of concrete, so it was quite a bit of concrete that came back here. As you can see right there too, there is a little electrical box that we had to work around. And we're starting off with just the curb footing, getting this thing all poured out first, just because since it's going to be wall to wall, it's going to be hard to get in there and pour that out while everything else is already poured out. So I wanted to just get that done right away. You can also see the screed pins we do have set up that go to the drains, and they're set up on center, and that's basically going to be our dividing point of where we're going to start rotting all of the concrete back. So once that curb was poured, we moved over to the side yard and started pouring out the side yard. So it kind of gave us some time to work on the curb while we poured out the side yard. Side yards always take a little while to pour since there's such a tight space and you need to make sure you get proper slope to the drains. It always take a little bit longer to pour out, which is kind of a bummer because a lot of times people think, oh, it's just a side yard that's quite simple and easy, why is it costing this much, when in reality it's almost the opposite. They're actually trickier and harder to pour, and if they take too long to pour out or pump out, the trucks or the concrete plants will charge you for standing time. I forget exactly how much it is a minute, but once you go over, I think you have 35 minutes to unload all your concrete. 35 to 45 minutes, somewhere right around there. If you don't get it unloaded by then, they start charging you by the minute. I think it's $3 a minute. So as you can tell, that can get pretty pricey. But if it's a big open slab area like what we're doing right here, we can pour out this quite fast. And I don't know if you guys have also noticed, what we like to do when we're pouring concrete, we always start with the side edges, and that will kind of give us the levels of where we need to be at. We always pour the sides, get those to the right levels and heights, and then we go back to the middle and start screeding the whole slab back. So what I really like about screed pins is that it almost makes it dummy proof to mess up the concrete as we're screeding. Typically you'll see more of the skilled screeder screeding on the freehand side, and the person that is usually on the screed pins, next to the screed pins, is, I don't want to say the less skilled screeder, but typically that person is screeding next to the screed pin because he'll be able to see his levels a lot better, and sometimes they even have a guide so that you can screed right on top of the 2x4, so it's almost, like I said, it's like dummy proof. You can't mess it up. But the person against the house, the guy in the orange, as you can see, he is screeding freehand, so he's just going off the levels that we set. Like I said, we always set our levels off of the sides first. And just so you guys can see, we are pulling up the concrete as we are pouring out, because I know I get tons of comments like that all the time saying, oh, you guys aren't pulling up the rebar. Yes we are. We even made a specific tool just to do that. And then as we are pouring out the concrete, we do have some guys on the bull floats and the mag floats floating out all of the concrete. And right here is actually where we ran out of the first load, so we're kind of just waiting for the next load. Now there's no screed pins though right here. On the second part, we took the screed pins out, and now we have to go off of basically the levels that we created on the first pass as we were screeding everything. But we can go off of the curb side because the bottom of that form is the height of our concrete. So we can go off that to kind of give us a reference as we're screeding back. So first what we did was we hit everything with the wooden bowl float, and then we had someone go over it with the mag float. Alright guys, so we are about halfway through the pour right now, and I just wanted to show you really quick. So basically, we're putting a rotting board on the drain to our high point, which are our screed pins, so that when we're screeding the concrete back, we're getting exact levels and slope towards our drain. What Sal the pumper is doing is pumping concrete right to the bottom of our 2x4. That is going to be the height of the concrete, and then we're going to screed it all back. The other level is the concrete curb over there, so it's not too bad to rod this job since we have exact points to go off of. As the finishers, we're both floating the concrete out this way. The poles are super long, and Shane just got knocked in the head. So me and Sal, the pumper, have switched jobs now. Now I'm pumping, he's filming.
Vamos a tirar todo lo que es allá para allá que tengo con la curva. Ahora sí que le echo un poquito. O sea, que le eche tantito, Timmy. Acá atrás. Acá atrás. Con leche.
I never knew how much pumping really pumps your biceps.
So your experience, Shane? Pumping.
It's your biceps, 100%.
Gym membership who?
Sal's Fitness. Yeah, just start paying Sal the membership fee to start pumping this thing. Alright guys, so as I thought, we did run out. We just ordered about 4.5, so it was about 25 yards for the whole pour back here. So right now we're going to take the pump back over to the concrete truck, clean it out, and wait for the next concrete truck to come. So as we are waiting for that next concrete truck, we're going to start putting all of our borders in. We're going to start getting all of our crack control joints in and start getting ahead of this thing, because concrete waits for no one. And if you're not getting ahead, you're getting behind, and you will lose your concrete pour. So there's where we ran out of concrete. About 4 yards right there. So I ordered 4.5 to be safe. Plus we'll probably need something to stake when we pull out from the curb right here. So more the merrier. And then all the guys right now, we're going down the knee boards, putting the joints, running all the way through the drains from planer wall to existing block wall, and then we're spacing the joints at the high points of the concrete and then at the drains. That gives us about 10-foot spans, right like that, and then it's going to be about 12 wide, because this hole from the house to the wall was about 28 minus the borders, so you know we got to minus about 1.5 feet. No, 2.5 feet, so that we get right around 12 feet. So we're starting to strip the curb. Curb is coming off. You guys are already on the sliders. Stuff's going off. Even in the shade. So you see we got that band in right there. Put the band over there. Still need to put this band in all the way down. Alright, we need the hammer. Shane's about to toss it over to Luis. Oh, beautiful! So as you can see right here, we got most of all the guys up against the curb right now because we're starting to strip that curb, get the finished details against that curb, and then also we're working on the border that is against the curb as well. We're ready to start stamping. It looks like first thing we're going to do is get this side yard come down this way. No design on the side yard, but we do have the borders for the main patio area.
First try.
So what we're spraying down right now, guys, is liquid release. Launch spraying it down in the 1 gallon sprayer from Home Depot. And then what we do is we stamp the concrete for that. And the whole reason for that is so that the stamp does not stick to the concrete and pull up the cream as we stamp. Alright, so check it out. Juan's bringing over the stamp man right now. Line it up with the corn. And a perfect toss. Got another one he's bringing down. And that's just so he can start stamping and flipping and switching these mats. There's the whole fun of that. And that is how the stamp pattern looks up close. It's a very beautiful design, and we're hitting it at the perfect time so that we're not pulling up the cream and we're still able to leave the impression of the stamp mats. Very important. Concrete's all about timing, so you really need guys that are experienced with doing this kind of thing so they can time everything correctly. Alright, so slows down. We're getting out there already, cutting the joints in, sliding it with our boards, finishing off, while the rest of us are stamping right now. Stamping this area. We're gonna go back and finish up this little area right there. We got one guy walking with his concrete finishing shoes, so he can walk on the stamp without messing up the finish. Finishing all of the curb and bands, brooming it out. Almost there. Yeah, so for the rest of the concrete job, all the borders and the curbs all got broom finished, and the rest was all stamped. So we did have one guy, like I was saying, with his concrete finishing shoes. They actually have a stamp imprint on the bottom of his concrete finishing shoes, so he can walk across all of the stamp without messing it up, so that he could easily broom everything. You can see he's there against the house right now, doing that right now, as we work our way down on the next portion of this slab, getting everything stamped in. The last place we're going to really have to wait is where we ordered that 4.5 yards, because it's going to be a while for it to dry before we can start stamping that area, since it was the 3rd truck and I wasn't exactly sure how much extra or how short I was going to be. So I wanted to be more precise with my measurements and ordering of the concrete siding and waste too much money if I was to over order or even under order and have to even get another 4th truck just to cover my ass. So that's why I ended up making it 20 plus, so I can figure out exactly how much to order for that 3rd truck. So that's the last place we're going to be waiting to stamp. Alright, let's check it out. Last section getting stamped. Wow, Enrique, you're still out here stamping. Fucking A, dude, your arms must be sore. Yeah, I started on the stamp and he's still stamping. Yeah, it looks great though. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks nice, eh?
Look at that finish. Yeah, so that finish came out absolutely beautiful, as you can see in that last little shot right there. The only thing that would have made this job look even better is if they added some coloring to the stamp job, and then if we came back and did a two-tone, man, this would have really popped. Other than that though, I mean, it still looks beautiful. I just wish we added some color to it, but you know, sometimes it's not in the budget for everyone. And you know, even though there wasn't color added now, you can always add color later on with some staining, and then you seal it, and that'll keep the stain from fading. You just gotta constantly be on that sealing. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tim Odell with Odell Complete Concrete. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below, and we'll see you guys in the next Odell Complete Concrete video.